looks like a struggle, you're going to have to force things. It's not going to work because it's always going to be a struggle. And I do really like that. It took me 50 years to learn about this. I'm not going to struggle anymore. I'm just going to let it flow and keep stepping into the river. And we're going to be swimming downstream, not upstream.
Yeah. I watched the Nike show about Michael Jordan. I
love
the fact
very cool.
And your shoe means nothing until my son steps in it.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. And people that live within their DNA, it's just wonderful to work with. It was such a dream working with Microsoft and eBay, mission driven. I have an investment of mine. Dean Nelson is an amazing warrior, impact warrior, and he's created, net carbon negative compute with Cato, one of my investments. He's a huge mentor and a friend. I bow down to a guy named Will Poole, who was my client 100 times over at Microsoft. He was running something called Windows and reporting to Ballmer and Gates. Yep. And I'm happy to be an investor in his fund called Capri and Unitas that only funds underprivileged entrepreneurs in foreign countries because we got enough money in the US. And he's an amazing impact warrior, the first guy to wrote the Segway to Work back when they called it a ginger. And my mentors are few and far in between, but they're people that really live in and with their purpose. And another person I learned a lot from was Richard Condon. He was the leader of something called Landmark Forum, which is a little bit of an odd organization, but he's a ontological expert, and he's helping tribal associations in Peru to get along with each other.
Right.
And it brings me to some of the other stuff I do in decentralized medicine. I've been a part of driving a discipline, an adoption of something called Nagoya Protocol, NAGOYA, which was originally founded in Gabon, where the neurosubstance in medicine called iboga and ibogaine is created. And we work in several areas in Peru and in Africa doing tribal reparation contracts. And we're working with supply chain on the medicine. We're working with supply chain on their creative things that they make, the textiles and art. Yeah. And that's, and we're trying to leverage a lot of things in medicine that shortcut people's path towards a healed state, whether it's a mental state, which is epidemic, or whether it's addiction, or whether it's neurological dysfunction or Parkinson's. These are things that are emerging through the merged essence of botanicals and synthetic medicine. Synthetic medicines. So kind of deeply involved in aspects also.
Right.